It was an incredibly strange year, to say the least, but 2021 was really a season of growth at H&R Block. As you mentioned, the total filings, market share growth, our assisted market share growth was the largest it's been in 10 years. We saw consumers embracing digital tools more than ever. I think this year, because there were so many uncertainties for the consumer between unemployment, stimulus payments, ultimately the refundable rebate credit, there were just so many things that the consumer needed help with this year, and they turned to H&R Block in great numbers.
Question you probably get a lot, Jeff, personally and professionally, which is when will we get the refunds, and how are they looking given that the Treasury is getting so much so late?
It's a really important question, and it's one of the most common questions we get asked for sure. It's why we encourage consumers every year to file early. The IRS actually processes refunds first in, first out. This year it was so confusing, as you said, the tax season started late, it ended late. We saw on the last day of tax season this year, record numbers in our DIY business, which just reminds me every year that no matter what we do to encourage consumers to file early and get their refunds, we just have a country of procrastinators, to say the least.
Jeff, what's your take on cryptocurrency and taxation? Is this a case of actually people just not having huge amounts of realized gains yet, or do you think there is quite a big chunk of realized gains that has gone undeclared and untaxed as things stand?
You know, crypto is an interesting thing for our business because it's not yet federally regulated. It's really not a place that we weigh in with consumers much. Ultimately, we think it could be a place we help customers, but today it's not a place where we do a lot of business.
What about what the Biden administration is proposing? In an effort to help pay for some of his new plans, including the American Families Plan, he wants to beef up compliance, I guess, and oversight from the IRS. Says that there are almost $600 billion in 2019 that could be collected from tax cheats, basically, and up to $7 trillion over the next decade. Are those numbers accurate? Do you think this is a good strategy to add funding to the IRS to help figure out more revenues?
We know that the IRS has been underfunded, and they're such important partners in our business, obviously. We also know that every year there are millions of people who, rely on the IRS to get their taxes processed faster, and the IRS isn't able to do that. Fraud is an issue in the business. We believe that, the IRS should have more ability to regulate taxpayers, the people that serve taxpayers, to set standards to help people make sure that whoever they're working with to prepare their taxes actually meets a high level of credential and standard.
How much does the new stimulus packages that have been passed help complicate what is going to be the next tax season, this current year as well, with enhanced unemployment benefits and all sorts of other things that could confuse the issue?
Things that are coming. There's no question.
Complicated things.
I think the thing that was most confusing this year for consumers was, this was all brand new. Stimulus payments, they learned, were not taxable. Millions of people receiving unemployment benefit, that was taxable. But then later, the law was changed to be retroactive, to go back and take credit for maybe taxes you had paid on unemployment to begin with. Next year, obviously, we'll have another turn, and hopefully consumers will understand some of those things better. But in the end, this is what we do every single year. And for decades, the tax law changes every year. There are many things that happen in the background every year. And that's why we spend so much time with our tax experts, making sure they're well trained and making sure they're prepared to answer those questions for consumers, whether they come to an office or work with us digitally.
Jeff Jones, stocks had a nice run since the December Investor Day. Not quite back up to the 2019 highs, but we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you for joining us.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.